At first, these containers don't look like much. Just dark soil. Maybe a few small leaves. Sometimes nothing at all. After a few days, it can feel disappointing. After a week or two, it can feel like something went wrong. Then, a few weeks later, those same containers look full, green, alive, producing food you can pick with one hand. This is something many gardeners notice over time. The slow beginning, the quiet middle, and then, suddenly, steady growth. If your containers look empty right now, you're not doing anything wrong. This is how it often starts. What matters is not how fast things look in the beginning. What matters is what the container allows the plant to become later. Before explaining why this worked, it helps to understand what container gardening really means, especially later in life. For many people over 60, gardening changes shape. Not because the interest is gone, but because the body asks for fewer sharp bends, less kneeling, less lifting from the ground. Container gardening is not a shortcut. It's a different rhythm. Instead of working down at soil level, the garden comes up to you. Instead of wide rows, there are a few focus spaces. Instead of long weeding sessions, there is quiet observation. Containers allow you to garden where it feels comfortable. On a patio, near a door, by a railing, even near a window. They reduce the need to bend often. They reduce weeds that creep in from everywhere. They reduce the feeling that something must be done every day. For caregivers, containers also bring clarity. You can see the plant easily. You can see when it changes. You can tell when it needs attention and when it doesn't. This kind of gardening is not about doing more. It's about choosing a setup that asks less from you, while still giving something back. And one choice matters more than most people realize. Many beginners think success depends on what they plant. Tomatoes or lettuce, peppers or beans. But the plant is not the first decision. The container is. Over time, gardeners notice a pattern. Plants struggle quietly in containers that are too small. They don't always die. They just never thrive. Roots want room, not to spread far, but to settle deep. When a container is shallow or narrow, the plant spends energy staying balanced instead of growing. Leaves stay small. Fruit takes longer. Water dries too fast. A slightly larger container changes everything. The soil holds moisture longer. The roots stay cooler. The plant feels steady. This is why two people can grow the same vegetable and see very different results. One container supports calm growth. The other keeps the plant stressed. This isn't about buying something fancy. It's about giving the plant enough space to relax. Once that space is there, the next confusion usually appears around what fills it. Many people call everything dirt, garden soil, potting soil, topsoil. But containers behave differently than the ground. Soil from the yard is heavy. It compacts. It holds water too long in a container. Potting mix is lighter. It allows air to stay around the roots. It drains without rushing. This difference matters because roots need both water and air. Too much water pushes air out. Too little water dries everything fast. If this feels confusing, that's normal. Almost everyone feels unsure here at first. The good news is that better soil doesn't mean more work. It often means less. Plants in the right mix ask for water less often. They recover faster from heat. They grow steadily instead of in bursts. This is not about perfection. It's about giving the roots a calm place to live. Once that's settled, choosing what to grow becomes simpler. Some vegetables adapt naturally to containers. They don't rush. They don't demand constant feeding. They don't mind limited space. Leafy greens are a good example. They grow from the top. They don't need deep roots to produce food. Herbs behave the same way. They grow slowly. They respond well to steady conditions. Smaller fruiting plants can also do well when they aren't crowded. They focus on a few good harvests instead of many weak ones. What matters here is not growing everything. It's growing a few things that enjoy the container life. This reduces disappointment. It builds confidence. And it makes each container feel successful. Once plants are chosen, the next quiet influence is where those containers sit. Sunlight feels different in a container than in the ground. So does temperature. In warm regions, containers heat up faster. Soil dries sooner. Roots feel the sun more strongly. In cooler regions, containers can warm sooner in spring, but they also cool faster at night. This is why location matters more than effort. Moving a container a few feet can change the entire season. Morning sun is often gentler. Afternoon sun can be intense, especially in summer. If growth feels slow, it's often not about watering more or feeding more. It's about light balance. Shade does not mean failure. It means slower growth, often steadier growth. This is where guilt can quietly appear. The feeling that you should be doing something. Sometimes, the best change is simply where the container rests. Watering brings up similar feelings. Many people worry they water too little. Others worry they water too much. Plants give signs, but they are subtle. Soil color, leaf posture, weight of the container. Watering is not about schedules. It's about noticing. Containers dry from the top first. That doesn't always mean the roots are dry. Overwatering is common because it looks caring. But roots need small dry spaces to breathe. If the container feels heavy after watering, let it rest. If it feels light, it may be ready. When lifting containers, especially after watering, it's okay to pause. Wet soil adds weight. There's no rush. Some people choose to place containers on stands or wheels. This reduces strain and makes movement easier. Again, the goal is not to manage every detail. It's to observe without force. Sometimes, even with good soil, good containers, and good light, growth feels slow. This is often the hardest part for beginners. Plants spend time below the surface before showing much above it. Roots settle. Micro changes happen quietly. This stage can last longer in cooler weather or during shorter days. It does not mean nothing is happening. It means the plant is preparing. Many gardeners notice that when they stop adjusting, plants begin responding. Less moving, less checking, more patience. Doing less often gives the plant space to do more. If you felt unsure or disappointed during slow weeks, you're not alone. This is part of the rhythm. Near the end of the season, or even just after the first harvest, something shifts. Confidence grows. The container feels familiar. At this point, it's natural to think about what comes next. If you'd like, you can share what you're growing now, or what you hope to grow next time. Some people start with greens. Others dream of tomatoes. There's no right answer. Hearing from others can be reassuring. It reminds us that everyone starts somewhere. As this season continues, remember that container gardening is not about control. It's about partnership. You set the space. The plant responds in its own time. When you give the plant room, steady soil, gentle light, and patience, it often surprises you. Do less. Get more.